Why the successful kidnapping of Maduro actually proves that the United States is accelerating its decline. But how can success be turned into failure? That's the charm of dynamic balance. First, technically the kidnapping was a success, but it doesn't prove how strong the US military is. Only proved the strong infiltration capabilities that it managed to buy off key figures in Venezuela. Yeah, the dollar is indeed very effective. Second, it severely overdraws US international credibility. Although they don't have much left before, Trump ignored the United Nations, bypassed Congress to kidnap the president of a sovereign state, and then even talked about appointing a governor, violating countless principles of international law. So who made international law in the first place? It was written under the leadership of major powers, including the United States, mainly to protect the interests of them. Rules like don't violate sovereignty, don't carry out terrorist attacks. The cost of defending against such actions is far higher for big countries than for small ones. Behind international law are costs, and the ability to enforce those costs. You hijack planes into my buildings, and I make your entire country pay. That's how deterrence works. To ensure terrorism doesn't happen every day on my soil. Do small countries care about this logic? Their daily lives are already terrifying enough. Now the US government is taking the lead in destroying international law. It doesn't even bother with excuses like laundry powder or the Bible anymore. It just grabs oil and carries out kidnappings. From now on, everyone will feel unsafe, and no one will bother talking about international law anymore. Third, Western colonial methods have gone through 3 stages. Stage 1 was the Portuguese-Spanish model, invade directly, loot directly. Stage 2 was the British model, appoint governors and support local proxies, reducing the burden of grassroots governance, greatly improving efficiency, and creating the empire on which the sun never set. Stage 3 was the freedom and democracy model, encourage national independence, then bring countries into an international order. This is even more efficient. You make money from small countries, and they even help you count it with full of gratitude. Across these 3 stages, costs kept falling while efficiency kept rising, but there was a prerequisite. You had to build a beacon, you had to hide the robber's face, follow international law, pretend to be civilized, wear suits so that small countries would admire you, their elites would come to study in your country, then return home, enter high office, influence policy, become your agents, transfer benefits, and enable legalized robbing. The US government has now declined to the point where it no longer has the ability to even pretend to be civilized. To achieve its goal of plunder, it can only revert to the Portuguese-Spanish style of direct robbery. And history has already shown that this kind of brutal model cannot last. In other words, a stage 4, a new order, may be about to emerge. So, what do you think it will look like? Follow me on Eastern Perspective to see the world.